again, I appreciate very much your attendance. These Majalla Ahkami Adliya classes. May Allah bless you, reward you. As we were discussing next week, Friday, Saturday and Sunday will be last sessions of this class, and Sunday classes. Because of Ramadan, we will stop and we will begin August 17. Majalla, also August 18, Sohbet. Because of the Ramadan, after Ramadan Eid, that is what we discussed, but I may repeat this idea later as well. Okay, now the article we are in is 823, Majalla. Okay, let me read the article. Muayyirin izni 823. Muayyirin izni olmaksızın müstahir ariyeti ahira icar yahut rehni demez. Okay. Ve bir beldedeki borcuna rehn etmek üzere istihare ettiği malı ahir bir beldedeki borcuna rehn edemez. İdüp de ariyet telef ya zayi olsa zaman lazım kelur. Okay. Let me broken translation, do broken translation. Word by word. 823. Muayyirin izni olmaksızın, without permission of muayyir, iare giver, without license, without consent of iare doer, müstahir ariyeti ahire icar edemez. Müstahir cannot lease, rent, cannot let others hire that ariyat, cannot. He is not authorized. Yahut rehni demez. Also cannot put that as a pawn or guarantee, collateral for a credit or something. Without the consent of mu'ir. Musta'ir cannot use ariyat, renting that out to somebody else, or putting that for rahn, as a pawn, as a guarantee for a credit, for a debt. Credit he got for a debt he owes to someone else. He cannot. Ve bir beldekteki borcuna rehin etmek üzere istihare ettiği mali ahir bir beldedeki borcuna rehin edemez. Okay. Ve bir beldedeki borcuna rehin etmek üzere istihare ettiği bir malı. If he does istihare, musta'ire, if he gets ariyet to guarantee of a debt he has to someone in this city, in special city. He got ariyat from someone with the consent of ariyat giver to let this guarantee and pawn and collateral for a credit in this city, in this specific city, city A. If he gets آخر bir beldedeki borcuna rehn edemez. He cannot use that as a rehn, as a collateral, as a pawn, as a guarantee for another credit in another city. He cannot. İdip de ariyet telef ya zayi olsa zaman lazım gelir. If he does use that for guarantee for other city without consent of the mu'ir for other city, then if that ariyat perishes, vanishes, disappears, gets lost, zaman lazım gelir, it becomes necessary to compensate, to make good, according to one of the, to make the loss good, according to one of the translations. Eight two three. The borrower cannot let or pledge a thing lent to him for use without the leave of the lender, and property which has been lent to be made a pledge for a debt in one town, he cannot pledge for a debt in another town. If he does, and the thing lent is destroyed or perishes, compensations becomes necessary. Okay. Malaysian translation. The borrower may not give the thing borrowed on hire, nor pledge it without the permission of the lender, nor may the borrower pledge a piece of property which has been lent to secure a loan in one town as security for a loan in another town. If he does so, and the thing lent for use is destroyed or lost, the loss must be made good. Okay. Okay. 824. Musta'ir ariyeti ahire ida edebilir ve yedi müstevda'da bila taaddi ve la taksir telef olsa zaman lazım gelmez. Okay. I am going to translate or to analyze word by word. مستعير استعارة عارية دور عارية آخرة إيداع إدبلور. He can make عارية إيداع to another person. He did get عارية. He can use this عارية as عارية given to someone else. He can. ويد مستودع ده بلا تعدي ولا تقصير تلف olsa zaman lazım gelmez. This عارية, if that becomes vanished or perishes or get lost in the hand of second person without aggressive role of anyone, without fault of the mustawda, the other person, no zaman is necessary, no compensation is necessary. A little debatable, I believe, but this is what the book says. Okay. 824. A person who has borrowed a thing for use can deliver it to another person for safekeeping. Ida. Not as ariyat, sorry, he can borrow this, but he can give this to another person as vedi'ah, not ariyat, as a vedi'ah, not for use, just for keeping. Yes, I must correct myself. Let me do once more, Musta'ir, a person who gets ariyat, he can put that one as vedi'ah, not as ariyat, not for use, as vedi'ah with another person. If this perishes as when it is in the hand of other person as vedi'ah, perishes without active involvement of or any fault, then no need of zaman. Yes, I am correcting. I corrected myself. A person who has borrowed a thing for use can deliver it to another person for safekeeping, vedi'ah. And if the possession of the custodian, and if in the possession of the custodian, of a custodian, it perishes without fault or neglect, compensation is not necessary. Yes. Malaysian translation. The borrower may deposit the thing borrowed for safekeeping with some other person. If it is destroyed without any fault or negligence, while in the possession of the latter, there is no need to make good the loss. Okay. Article 825. Muayir ariyeti talep ettik de müstehirin hemen red ve teslimi lazım kelur. Ve bila uzr tevkif ve tehir idip de ariyet telef ya zayi olsa yahut kıymetine nuksan gelse zamin olur. All words are known. Let me do motamo translation, word by word. Muayir ariyeti talep ettik de when muayir asks ariyet back, the lender asks ariyet back. Müstehirin hemen red ve teslimi lazım gelir. Müstehir has to deliver that back immediately. Give back and deliver to him immediately. Why? Because it is not rent, no money. It's no pay. This is free usage. So the owner has right to pull back anytime. Okay. Ve bila uzr tevkif ve tehir dubta. But without any excuse, if he stops, keeps in tawqif, keeps in his hand, mustahir keeps that in his hand, or delays to give that back, delays, ariyat telef. In that case, if ariyat becomes lost or vanishes or perishes, or the value of ariyat becomes less, if that what happens, tamin olur. He need to compensate for that. He need to make this loss good. That is the Malaysian term used for that. (825) When the lender has demanded the thing lent for use, the borrower must immediately return and deliver it. And if on his making delay without excuse, the thing lent for use is destroyed, that is, if he keeps that with him or delays it, there is an extra word over there, not taken into consideration in this translation. Okay. Once more. And if on his making delay without excuse, the thing lent for use is destroyed or perishes or its price is diminished, he becomes responsible. Compensations becomes necessary. That is, he is zamin. He will be responsible to compensate. Yes. Malaysian. 825. Upon the lender asking the borrower to return thing lent, the latter must do so forthwith. If he keeps it or delays returning it without any valid excuse, and it is destroyed or lost, or there is a decrease in the value thereof, the borrower must make good the loss. I think Malaysian one seems better.
The word for not returning it, taqif, or delaying, you said the word taqif.
Tawqif. Tawqif. Tawqif. Tawqif, waqafa, to stop. Waqafa. Tawqif, making stop. I mean, not giving. Tawqif, still keeping in his hand. That is what is meant here. Tawqif, waqafa. Waqafa, to stop. Waqafa, to make something stop. So you are making something be there, stopping, not moving.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Eight to six. Okay. Eight to six. Nassan ya delaleten muvakkat olan ariyetin hitamı müddette muira reddi lazım kelur fakat meksi mu'tad ma'fudur. A few words. First, nassan. Nassan. Nass. Root. Nassan. Text. Quran, Hadith, or text of the contract. The literal words there. Dalalatan. دلالة دلالة دل to be dalil, to be evidence. Dalalatan, what is meant, not in the text clearly, but included in the understanding, conception, understanding, dalalat. This ayah has this dalalat. It is not clearly mentioned, but this is what you understand. I mean, for example, don't say bad words to your parents. Oof, off, don't say. From that we understand, don't hit, don't curse, don't push. But it is not mentioned in the Quran, don't push that. It is meant. When you have this, don't say even least hurtful word that covers bigger other things more hurtful. It is understood. So nas is don't say oof, but that is nas, the text. But dalalat is like what is understood, what is covered in it. Okay. نصا يا دلالة مؤقتة عاطلية ختام مدتها. ختام end. ختام finish. ختام ختم finish Quran. whole Quran. ختمه. اوكي. معيرة رد لازم در. مكسيموتات معفودر. Let me write here at the top. مكسو in Quran. Max. Waiting, stopping, being there, staying, waiting, staying. Mu'tad, usual, adat. Adat. Something, tradition, culture, usual, adat. Also, okay. Ma'fudur, ma'fu, you know, afala. Ma'fu, from afala, to forgive. Forgive. Afala. So, what the book is said, نصنيا دلالة مؤقتة عارية ختام مدة معيرة رد لازم در. It is necessary to give back at the end of the time, fixed time, whether that time is in the text or understood. Any ariyat which has certain time, fixed time, needs to be given at the end, back to at the end of the time, at the end of that time. Fakat, but, meksi mu'tad ma'fudur. But, delay, traditional, cultural, customary delaying is forgiven. I mean, whatever is culturally has to be done. Okay. 826. The return of a thing lent temporarily by law or by implication, not law by text, not law. Okay? Or implication at the end of the time is necessary. Returning is necessary. Giving back is necessary. But the usual delay is excused. Malaysian one. 826. A thing which has been lent for use for a definite period of time, whether expressed or implied, must be returned to the lender on the expiration of such period. But any delay which is sanctioned by custom is excused. To me, second translation is better. Okay. Now, eight to seven. Okay. 27. Bir iş için bir şey istiare olundukta ol işin hitamında ariyet müstahir yedinde vedia gibi olur. Artık hani istimal edemez ve meksi muhtattan ziyade tevkif edemez. İdukta telef olsa zamin olur. Interesting, good. All words you know, so let me word by word. Bir iş için bir şey istihare olundukta, when for a work some ariyet is taken for specific work, specific action, specific doing, ariyet is taken for specific work. Okay? All işin hitamında, at the end of that work, ariyet müstahir yedinde vediye gibi kalır. Ariyet will be in the hand of müstahir as vedi'a. any ariyat taken for certain work. When that work finishes, ariyat turns in the hand of the musta'ir to wadi'ah, comes out from ariyat status. Okay? Fantastic. Artık hani istimal edemez. He cannot use it anymore. Ve meksi muhtattan ziyade tevkif edemez. He cannot keep that one, stay with him, more than customarily acceptable stay. He cannot keep that with him. İdip de telef olsa zamin olur. If he keeps more than what his customs tells him, more than that, and that gets lost something, then he will be compensating that. Yes. Okay. 827. When a thing has been borrowed for use in a business, on the completion of that business, the thing lent becomes like a property deposited for safekeeping, wadi'ah, in the hands of the borrower. He must no longer use it, and he cannot keep it longer than it is usual to keep it. And if he does, and it is destroyed, he is responsible for compensation. (827) Malaysian translation. If a thing is borrowed for use in connection with any particular piece of work, such thing on the completion of such work is regarded as property entrusted for safekeeping to the borrower. He may not use it in any way whatsoever and may not retain it for any period longer than it is allowed by custom. If he does so and such property is destroyed, he must make good the loss. Yes. I think we will conclude here, and next week, before this big